3.
Hi everybody, my name is Cindy Cachado and I'm here today to show you the most amazing thing. If you're tired of cutting out half square triangles at the 7/8 of an inch line, I would like to be able to show you a way you can eliminate that for good. So this is a simple block just showing you now that in this block you've got several half square triangle units and we're going to make them now without 7/8 of an inch seam allowance. And I know you're familiar with rotary cutting, and I know that you know, like I do, that when you're trying to line up on the 1/8 of an inch lines, it's not easy. So what you're going to do is you're going to add 1 inch seam allowance. So for this particular block, this unit is 3 inches finished, and we need to add an inch. So that means you're going to cut your fabric every 4 inches, and this ruler here happens to be 4 inches wide. So you know how easy that's going to be. And you're just going to rotary cut right on the inch lines, and it's going to be super easy for your cutting. And once you have these things cut out, the next thing you're going to do is to take the two squares and you're going to put them right sides together. As you can see here, I have a dark and a light, and we're going to put them right sides together. Then here comes the Magic Method triangle marking tool, and this is what you're going to use. And you're going to put this on your fabric and simply line up the black line from corner to corner. With a mechanical drawing pencil, you're going to mark the lines for sewing. So it's just a simple mark. And I'm going to move over to this side so that I can mark both sides. And once you've marked the lines, as you can see, very easy to see, you're going to guide that into your sewing machine. Now what's nice, and I'm going to show you a couple of units here already sewn, you can just chain sew these units together. Once they're sewn, you want to flip this back and measure this square. And you're going to find out that this is the 3.5 inch size square that you need to have to sew into your block. So now you've avoided the second step, which normally if you had only sewn a 1/4 inch, you would have to go back and recut those down to size. But with the Magic Method marking tool, you only have to mark the actual sewing lines, and it comes out perfect every time. As you can see now, the finished unit is exactly 3.5 inches. So it works out perfectly. Now that's your half square triangle. And this is your finished block. And you've got almost, well, actually you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 half squares then easily made and sewn into this ribbon star. Now, what if you have 1/4 square triangles? I want to show you a very fast way to do 1/4 square triangles. This is a very common block. It's called the Ohio Star, and we need to make 4 of these 1/4 square triangle units. For the seam allowance that we're going to add to our squares, it will be 1.5. So we are going to take our finished size, which, let me pull this back up here one more time. The finished size of this block is 4. So we need to add 1.5, and that gives us the cut size to start with at 5.5. And again, we would use this tool, and we would align the black line from corner to corner. We take our mechanical pencil, draw our lines, and then we would stitch right on the line. Another nice thing here is you're stitching on a line. You're not trying to line up a 1/4 inch foot, which sometimes there's a variable with the different types of 1/4 inch feet on the market. This is just simply sewing on the line. Then you're going to pull it back, and what you're going to find out, each time you sew using this method, using the Magic Triangle Method tool, you will reduce your square by 1/2 inch. So now this piece here will be 5 inches. You started at 5.5, and you're going to now have 5-inch half squares. So now with your 5-inch half squares, you're going to place them right sides together. I'm going to just show you. So they're placed right sides together, and you'll notice that we will be marking across a seam. So this time when we put the tool down, and again line up the black line from corner to corner and mark our sewing lines, then we will actually be marking across a seam and sewing across a seam. Now I'm going to show you one that I have already sewn. Let me just flip it back for you to see the stitching. So there would be our stitching. Then you're going to flip this open and you're going to see your 1/4-inch quarter square triangle unit. This unit needs to measure 4.5 inches. So let's take a look. And we've got exactly 4.5 inches. So once again, we don't have the second step. We've eliminated having to re-square it up. It's going to come out exactly what we want. And we can go ahead then and cut these apart down the diagonal here. So you just simply put this here and get your rotary cutter and slice this in half. So that's all you would need to do. And then out of that, you would get 2 perfect 4.5-inch quarter square triangles, and basically you'd be sewing these back together again then to complete your Ohio Star block. I hope you had fun with this tool. I am so excited about it, and it's so easy to use.